All right. Good morning. What is going on, San Diego? No, just kidding. Hope we're all having a good Taco Tuesday out here. Let's go. Steve, Jason, Hunter, KO, Glenn, Robert, Tangi, Autumn, Team Tom. My mornings have been dreary. I love it. Thank you, Jason. Let's go. Let's get it. Glad to be back. I know yesterday was like the first day back. I actually was sick yesterday. I thought yesterday morning I was fine. And then as the nighttime came around, I ended up having a fever again. So that was great. So if I sound weird today, that is why. But yeah, SPY coming back around. Very nice movement back up. 615.50 holding up as support today. This is going to be a very key area for SPY to hold. If we start to see like 615, 615.50 give out, this is where I'll become a little bit more bearish in the short term. I think you could like target down to this gap fill. You could maybe try to play this small range right here on the SPY. Now keep in mind, short-term options could get some pretty big moves there if you do time it up right. Ryan said, Tom, how was the vacation? It was great. It was great, Ryan. The daughter had fun. I got sick at the end, but what can you do? Jake, Tesla taking a hit. Let's see. TSLA falling down. Pretty big gap down today, down 6.9%. I don't know if you guys saw it, but Trump and Elon were kind of going at it again this morning. Man, I saw Elon post some stuff on Twitter, or X, and Trump was going nuts. I saw something where Trump even talked about deporting Elon. Not really, but, you know. He said, I think they said, like, are you looking into it or something? And I can't remember what he said. Let's go find it. Let's go find it. Someone put it in the SM chat. Who did that? Nigel. Yeah, here it is. Who wants an electric car? I don't want an electric car. There's one problem with it. It explodes, Trump said. That was one of them. We had even more than that going on with them. Here's the funny one. Asked about deporting Musk, says, have to take a look. That's what he said. That's funny. Had me kind of laughing. Powell should be speaking. I actually have it pulled up here, and I'm waiting for it to start, and it's not starting. I have it pulled up here, though. Yeah, they're running late or something. I do have it. Whoa, fuck. I think
we are facing major structural
Oh my god. I'm deaf.
related to aging, digitalization, greening of the economy.
Should we watch what Powell says?
And with all that, we have to deliver on our mission, price stability.
Here, I'll move this to the other side. I don't think that we need to worry about what Europe's doing with their politics. I'll turn it back on if JP comes out, I promise. I have it on my other screen. That's funny. Too late, Powell. Yeah, he's late again. Who would have guessed? Euro trash, gonna Euro trash. Oh, no. I kind of like the lady that does that, Christine Lagarde. I believe that's how you say her name. Good morning, Jeanette. BMNR still riding the wave. Holy shit. Yeah, we're going to be on BMNR all day today. Thing halted again, though. We got to wait for it. Ooh, here we go. All right. We'll see if JP starts speaking here real fast. So hang on. JP should give an opening remark here. So Well, we'll hear his
much
opening
more
remark.
how the economy behaves. Now, 1 year on since the last Sintra panel, and of course halfway through 2025, global policy needs to navigate risks posed both to inflation and growth, a challenge highlighted by the Bank for International Settlements in a report this week. So let's get started. We have 1 hour. Kazuo Ueda, Governor, Bank of Japan. Of course, our host, Christine Lagarde, of the European Central Bank President. We have Jay Powell, Chair, Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System. We have Chang Yong-ri, Governor, Bank of Korea, and then Andrew Bailey, Governor for the Bank of England. Madame Lagarde, let's start with you as our host. So first of all, thank you so much for having us all here. We had a little bit of data today, this morning, consumer prices rising some 2% from a year ago, up from May's 1.9%. But then the tariffs still loom large. So how do you see that developing?
Well, first of all, I would note that we are at 2%. And this is the latest reading. This is also the target that we have had, and this is the projection that our staff is indicating for the medium term, which is exactly what we had anticipated. So I'm not saying mission accomplished, but I say...
Glenn's going to get some BMNR.
And I think we should start by recognizing that. We faced a massive amount of shocks, compounded...
This lady's getting old.
And we are now through that disinflationary process that we have conducted over the last 2 years. And yes, we are facing a lot of uncertainty. Yes, we are facing the risk of fragmentation increasing. And yes, we are facing geopolitical developments that are worrying generally, but that also are causing two-side risk to inflation. So we have to continue to be extremely vigilant. We have to continue to be committed to delivering on our target. And I think we are at this point in time in a very good position to do that. So we are well equipped to navigate the tormented waters that we should anticipate.
Chair Powell, tariffs are not yet showing
She's only
up in
69.
inflation. Is this forcing you or your staff to actually rethink what the models say about how much the tariffs will ultimately thread through some of the final prices?
So thank you, Francine, and Christine, thank you to you and your colleagues for putting on another great conference here today. It's been a pleasure. I guess I would start, if I may, by saying that the U.S. economy is in a pretty good position. Inflation has come down close to 2%. We're at 2.3 headline, 2.7 core. The unemployment rate is at 4.2%, so we're healthy overall. If you ignore the tariffs for a second, inflation is behaving pretty much exactly as we have expected and hoped that it would. We haven't seen effects much yet from tariffs, and we didn't expect to by now. We've always said that the timing, amount, and persistence of the inflation would be highly uncertain, and it's certainly improved that. So we're watching. We expect to see over the summer some readings, higher readings, but we're prepared to learn that it can be higher or lower or later or sooner than we'd expected.
But Chair, would the Fed have cut more by now if it weren't for the tariffs?
So I think that's right. In effect, we went on hold when we saw the size of the tariffs and essentially all inflation forecasts for the United States went up materially as a consequence of the tariffs. So we didn't overreact. In fact, we didn't react at all. We're simply taking some time. As long as the U.S. economy is in solid shape, we think the prudent thing to do is to wait and learn more and see what those effects might be. And again, they haven't really shown up. So for now, we're waiting.
Governor Rhee, South Korea's economy is, of course, highly reliant on trade. Putting aside the deals that each government can strike with the Trump administration, what can central banks in your position do to shield economies from the impact of trade tariffs?
Actually, about the tariffs' impact on inflation, our current inflation is well stabilized around 2%, and we believe tariff tends to be deflationary rather than inflationary for three reasons. One is Korea is not likely to use retaliatory tariff. Second, we import 22% of our import from China, and recently export price of China has been falling at 5% a year for several years, and we believe that it will continue to do so. And at this moment, our growth rate is 0.8%, which is well below our potential growth rate. So aggregate demand pressure is much lower. So our problem is not the inflation itself, but the gross impact of tariff.
So what does that mean you'll do going forward?
Yeah, actually, we have been in easing cycle, and we cut our interest rate 100 BP from last October, and we will continue to be in an easing cycle given our growth rate. But recently, financial stability risk has been rising, especially housing price in metropolitan area is increasing very fast. So we are keeping eye on this financial stability risk in deciding the pace and the timing of the further cuts.
Governor Bailey, you've taken the view that the latest rises in inflation in the UK will be transitory. Why are you so confident that inflation will fall back?
Actually, you may have detected I've tried to avoid using the transitory word because it was, oddly enough, it has a bit of a history. But to be serious, obviously any increase in inflation is an increase in inflation, sorry to state the obvious. The reasons it's gone up is really entirely due to so-called administered prices. Now, that's, as I say, that's an increase in prices, don't get me wrong. But it's not telling us much or anything about the context of the economy. In other words, it's not telling us anything really much about the balance of supply and demand in the economy. So I think the key judgment for us is, are we going to get second round effects from this, this pickup? And of course, it's nothing like the pickup of a few years ago, just to be clear. And my judgment is at the moment is that the context is different, that we do see evidence. I see some signs of softening in the economy, I see signs of softening in the labour market. We are going to have to see those come through, though. I mean, come through into prices. I think we've still got to see the evidence and prices. But that background context allows certainly me to say, look, I think the direction of interest rates continues to be downwards.
When you look at all of the uncertainty, again, it's a bold call given what happened to oil prices and trade negotiations?
It is. I mean, I would say two things on that. One, I think as others have said, it's probably, Jay was saying, I think it's a bit too soon, I think, really to see the price effects coming through from the trade and tariffs action. We've made a point of saying also that, I think as Christine was saying, that these are two-sided. They could go either way. Could be weaker demand. We could see supply chain disruption. And the second thing, of course, is that some of these effects, if you take the oil price story, I mean, it's gone up, it's come down, all since our last meeting, effectively. So, we always reach for the lexicon at this point. I mean, we've added unpredictability to uncertainty. I was slightly amused at the introductory film this morning with Christine saying all these words, because it's true. Because not only are we getting uncertainty in the sense, the range of outcomes, but unpredictable in the sense that if you get things like, the tariff action, history really isn't a particularly good guide to that, actually. You can't really draw much from the past on that.
Now, Governor Ueda, you're in a slightly different situation, right? Japan CPI has stayed above 2% for 3 years now. What do you see as the fundamental changes in your economy that make inflation more persistent?
So let me say, to put it simply, as you say, headline inflation has been above 2% for almost 3 years, while what we call underlying inflation is still somewhat below 2%. That's the situation we are in. But if I could decompose it further, there's probably about three components to it.
All right, I think we've had enough of the ECB this morning. But either way, it was pretty cool opening remarks. We got some Powell action today, I guess. I don't think that the market's going to really move all that much from Jerome, if I'm being honest there. Maybe he'll end up saying something a bit more as it goes on. I think it'll be a very boring event, though, to just sit there and watch. So I think I'm just going to... We're going to skip over that. We'll watch the headlines. Yeah, I'm with you, Jake. BMNR, $60 ended up hitting. Unfortunately, it's pulling back pretty hard right there, right now. Man, after 700% yesterday. Following it up with another 50% move today, although a lot of it came in after hours yesterday. There was a lot of movement today, don't get me wrong, but quite a bit there in after hours. It's a very strange one here. It probably just halted again. Yeah, it's been halted for a minute again. That's hilarious. Things going crazy right now. The casino stocks are on watch today. Win, LVS, MGM. Let's go. Stocks are on fire. Love the casino stocks, though. Good Macau gaming news today. Macau June revenue rose way more than expectations. I think it was 19% year over year. Pretty big number. Here's the... Yeah, 19% year over year. Pretty big, though, by Win. MGM following suit as well. Like to see him popping off. Hopefully they can get some continuations going here today. LVS, part of that sector too. Anyone with Macau gaming exposure? I wonder if there's any good China stocks for that. Hey, there you go, Tangi. Just got some dividends from MGM. That's nice. The daily chart looks very solid on these ones too. $36 breakout. A slot machine. Oh, I did see that. I saw that too. Wait, where'd it go? Oh, it was in the profits channel. I was in the off topic. I was like, wait. That was hilarious. You said yesterday you're going to the Luxor, and I saw that and cracked up this morning. Make enough money off this CMG call for a burrito. It's the circle of life. Chipotle. I see what you're saying. Chipotle is a big resistance coming up around like 59 to 60. There's been multiple touches there at 59. Give me 1 sec, guys. I'm gonna have to take a drink of water. The sickness is getting me. Give me 1 sec. I'm surprised that you guys all like the Luxor. I've heard some pretty negative things about that one, I thought. Man, you got it too? Maybe China's sending stuff to Florida. I'm just kidding. It was a joke. Luxor has some scary stories. Oh. Look at Bank of America coming up to its all-time high here. Well, I guess that's not. Technically, it's up around 50, but... I don't even think that's the all-time high because of 2008. Hang on. Yeah. It's more like 55. Crazy with the banks. Very nice comeback today, though. Like the price action from open for sure. Go to Tesla. It's coming back up a little bit. Bounced off our lower support here. Attempting to trade back up. SPY getting back through 617. That's fire. There we go. Back through a good resistance from pre-market today. That's a good level to break through. 618 is going to be pretty critical coming up. This was a big level in pre-market yesterday. I feel you, Autumn. Everyone I know so always says bad stuff, but I've only been in there to play games. I've never stayed there. You're right. I think that they're just too bougie. Thoughts on Joby? Joby? Down 4.69%. Pretty rough pullback there. Poor Joby. Yeah, Dylan, they're down quite a bit, but they're down to $10, which is a really good support here. Man, you can attempt to trade it up off this support. I think it looks pretty solid off support, but the question is how much will it recover up? It's a tough one here. If it starts to break under the low from today, it'd be tough to hold it. You'd have to cut, but especially if you're scalping it. Got some data in about 8 minutes. ISM manufacturing PMI, JOLTS job openings as well. Those will be pretty big coming through. There's no news that will send the market down, Mason said. The JOLTS data can be the worst we ever seen, and we'll see 620. It could be. It could be. I don't know. We'll see. I'm with you, Morov, but you never know with JOLTS. Hood to 100, Steve said. Oh, yeah. Hood looks like it's breaking out pretty well. That's pretty amazing. At least it got to 98. Coin almost back to yesterday's close, Glenn said. Coin. There we go. Oh, it's testing 350 resistance. That's a big one. Coinbase. That's a huge level to test. Steve said it was short-lived on Hood. Oh, it doesn't mean it's turning over yet. It might just have to play out a little while. Not the best sign to see it reject, but could still get it done. Makes me think of yesterday at like this point. Do you think the SPY can tackle 700 by the end of the year? That'd be a massive leap, but this year is insane, Autumn said. 700, let's go look at that. You know, I mean, let's look at the possibility, because it's definitely possible. I mean, we just had within, from April to now, which is essentially 3 months, we've ran from 490 essentially, well, we'll say 482 all the way up to 617. That's like well over 100 points. Yeah, 700 could be in play. I mean, it's definitely possible. Here's the, you know, I know I did this on yesterday's video. Here's kind of the recovery that I like to watch right now is the COVID recovery. You know, we had a pretty straight shot down. It was a pretty massive drop by the SPY. Now, it was more than the recent drop. You know, it was 35%, whereas we were just under 20% on the last one. But nonetheless, it's a good V-shaped recovery. And it kind of shows you how, like, you know, you could get, like, a good continuation going. Now, note how, like, there are these periods where it will chop around a little bit, even after breaking, like, out to a new high, where you think, like, the bulls would be really hitting hard. Now, obviously, that was COVID, a little bit of a different situation. But nonetheless, a pretty V-shaped recovery nonetheless, and it looks similar on the chart. Not that that means it has to play out that way, but I think that there's a good possibility of that, Autumn. I would put the chances of 700 probably myself. I mean, I'd probably go with... I'll go look... I am going to go look at the options pricing in a minute and see what they're looking like. But let's see. I'm probably thinking... Right now, the 700 strike call probability in the money by the end of this year. I would say that they have the chances right now, like 10%, 5%, maybe less. Maybe less. It doesn't make it wrong, though, to look at. But let me go check SPY. I'm going to go look at the ones ending this year. Oh, wow. December 31st. It's perfect. No, I'm kidding. All right, let's go down. Let's find 700. Probability in the money. Looks like, oh, I was right. Yeah, I said like 5 or 10%. It's 9.17% right now is what they're pricing in, which isn't too bad. I do got to say, if you guys should go check out the SPY 700 strike calls for December 31st of this year. There's a lot of open interest. There's 27,000 open interest there, like significantly more than any other strike on the entire chain. Like more than double any other strike, and I would say quadruples and quintuples even, most of them. There's 27,000 volume there. To put it in perspective, the 650 strike has 2,000 volume. So that's what they're pricing in, but that doesn't mean that like that it has to be like that. That's just, you know, what market makers price in. Obviously, there can be, just because they don't price it in, don't mean that it can't happen. And don't worry, if SPY pops and it's, let's say we're in October and it's at 650 or 670, oh, the chances will be a lot higher then. It'll be dope to watch. Yeah. I just don't think that it's going to be as straight up as people think. That's the thing. Like, you could see like 1 or 2 months of just chop and like maybe pullback, and there can be that mixed into this overall uptrend. And I do think that that's going to happen eventually. And I think that it's going to catch a lot of people off guard, but Coin, did it break 350? Let's go see. COIN. It did, yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty good extension through 350. We got to call it a break, the way it got through. All right, here we go. Jolts just hit, guys. SPY. Jumping around. Let's see. Jolts came in at 7.769 million. Ooh. A bit more than expected here, by about 400,000 to 600,000, depending on which analyst or which forecast you're looking at. Jolt ISM manufacturing PMI came in at 49, pretty much right in line. Pretty much. Looks like it came in a little higher than the consensus. Go back to the SPY. So far, not a lot of movement from here, which is good. The less movement, the better, in my opinion. That way we can just let things play out, let things go. Hood is going to get it done, baby, Steve said. Robin Hood. Up to 99. That's pretty solid. Hood's going to get it done, baby, Steve said. Hood's doing pretty good. It's at 99. This is going to be it's going to be a big level for it. It might be tough to do. Hood getting it done. All right, guys, we're going to do our protein break a little early today. I'm going to go take some cough medicine. I'm just kidding. No, I might, though. Some Dayquil. Tom, how many sellers are parked at Hood at 100? Let's check it. I think I already have Hood pulled up. Yep, there it is. Ooh. 194,000. I thought it said 1 million at first. Yeah, 194,000. Quite a bit. Quite a bit. SMCI not doing good, I know. Pulling back quite a bit today. I love that action yesterday. I was hoping today that they maybe go for a breakout there, but not the case. Keep them on the radar, though, for the next few days. You know, be patient, wait. Wait for a good, solid opportunity. Could catch, like, a good breakout. All right, give me 1 sec, guys. Or a couple minutes. Protein shake. This is your what am I trying to say? Your reminder, I guess we'll say. Your protein alarm is going off right now. If you haven't had your protein yet, go get it in. Here's the Mag 7. I'll be right back. All right, all right. I hope everybody got their protein in. Let's go. My daughter is getting pissed today. SPY trying to bounce here off support. We can see 617. It broke through there earlier. Came back down for a little retest here on this wick. See if we can start to get some better extensions up through 618. Of course, that wick came through with the JOLTS data. We had the JOLTS and the ISM. JOLTS kind of came in higher than expected, but doesn't matter too much there. Let's go check solar real quick. Somebody had a good question in the Discord about solar. There's so much back and forth with that bill. It's hard to look at solar lately and be like, have some confidence with it. It has started to move well. Man, RBC maintained outperform, raised their price target to 200 from what? From 188? Okay, that's pretty good. Not bad. Powell confirms that the Fed would have cut by now if it were not for tariffs. Oh. I'll pull that up for you guys. Powell confirms the Fed would have cut by now if it were not for tariffs. I guess he said that during the panel today. Yeah, he's looking at how the inflation expectations rose a lot. That is true. The inflation expectations went wild whenever those tariffs were announced. I thought it was insane, actually, how high a lot of those got. Glenn said we don't need him to state the obvious. Yeah, that's true. I guess he hasn't really said it yet, though, like, out there. How much longer does Powell have his job? It's not much longer. Let me look it up. Let me get you a good date here. I think it might be like the end of 26. Yeah, it says the term as chair will expire on May 15th, 2026. So May 15th, 2026 is when that will expire. He can remain in the Federal Reserve Board of Governors till January 31st, 2028, though. Who knows? Maybe he'll end up being the finance secretary or the treasury secretary or something like that instead. Like what Yellen was for Biden. I forgot who has it for Trump. It might be Lutnick. Let's see. Yep, he was the Treasury Secretary. Yep. NKE is running, Tiger Wu said. SPY's starting to bounce right off of that same support level where that wick touched. It's also right where there were these bounces and slight intraday resistance right at open. SPY's trying to hold here, maybe for more of a run. That would be nice. Would be great for the Bulls today. NVDA. Nike's moving? Really, Tiger? Okay, 73.50. Powell for president, Jason said. Ooh. What would you guys do if Jerome Powell ran for president? Honestly. That'd be pretty insane. I think some people would have actually, like, voted for him back in, like, before transitory or... I don't think Powell has the charisma, Glenn said. The charisma, yeah. He's kind of like a boring robot guy. And if anything, he seems like he gets angry more than anything. I've noticed during a lot of the Fed press conferences, whenever the people start pushing his buttons with bad questions and stuff, like about Trump and things, he definitely gets, like, notably mad. Even, like, whenever Trump gets notably mad, it doesn't seem as bad as Powell's. What's up, Demure? Can't believe you stopped me out on that dip spy. Oh, it did? Won't even load the spy. Yeah, I know. It was bouncing right off of that resistance from this morning, Demure. It was acting as great support there. What the hell? Trading views down, I guess. That's nice. Thinkorswim's always going, though. Always out here for us. Google prancing higher. There's SPY. Ooh, getting up to 618 resistance now. Getting pretty high. Very nice candles. Damn, 618. Is it going to break through this resistance like butter? It's right on it. Everyone's calling for 620 in the short term, so that would be nice. Here's a great sign to see that hold, though, today. Pre-market like that to bounce. That was great. Hood's really fighting to break 99. If it's 100 and the 190K-ish sell wall or sell, would other stocks follow the big sell-off? No, it wouldn't really, Dylan. Robinhood's just kind of like a mind of its own. It's not really going to cause other stocks to move much. Something like Nvidia, I would say, would have a much larger impact on other stocks. Generally, though, stocks are pretty independent from each other, and the only way that I would think that Nvidia would really impact another stock, like let's say impact AMD, because they're like both in the chip sector. If Nvidia came out and just said like, oh my God, chip demand is going through the roof or something, then, you know, I think all chip stocks would go up, you know, with Nvidia in that case. But most of the time, if like Nvidia just randomly goes up today, that doesn't necessarily mean that like other stocks are going to follow. Same thing with Hood. Same thing with Hood. Mason said, what did I say? Yeah, straight up. It didn't care one bit about the jolts. It was pretty. I like it. It still looks pretty fire to me. Don't care about nothing. You know what I'm a little worried about is whenever these tariff pauses or reciprocal tariff relief or whatever it was, whenever that starts to end here soon, that's whenever I'm going to get a little bit worried. Trump has a July 4th deadline, I believe. Oh, no, that's for the bill. That's for the bill. That big, beautiful bill has to be done by this Friday as well, or else, I don't know, Trump's going to be pissed. Which stock is pushing the SPY the most right now? Because Nvidia is down, NVDA. Let's look at the Mag 7. That'll give us a pretty good idea. Amazon, Apple, Tesla. Those three look very hot right now intraday. Apple's recovering up very good, up 2.2% on the day. I would say that's the main driver of the SPY right now is Apple with the way that it's moving. But even Amazon adding in definitely helps. Let's go look at the heat map. Looks like a lot of these stocks over here, consumer non-durables like Procter & Gamble, Coca-Cola, Nike, Hershey's, Estee Lauder, Lulu. What is this one? SJM, Smuckers, STZ. You know, like we're seeing some pretty good moves from these other sectors here. Like look at the healthcare sector. Pretty decent. UNH coming up a little bit. You know, transportation looks pretty green for the most part. I like retail. You know, that's a very nice sector today. Walmart, Lowe's, pretty big stocks out there. Because the Mag 7 looks pretty bleak, if I had to be honest. It's not terrible, it just, it's you know? Yeah, Nvidia, definitely not the best here. The rest are making up for it. Speaking of them, they're selling off pretty good. New low of the day. Running into support from Friday. Knowing Trump, though, he'll just re-extend them. That's what I was thinking. He said he wouldn't do it this time, but I don't think I can trust any of that. Ooh, rejection off the SPY. Nvidia might be adding in some red. Oh, wow. Yeah, right back down to it loves this area today around 617 to 616.85. This 15-cent range, it really loves it here. He's soft on July 8th, though. Not like the April deadline. He said he was going to be Liberation Day. Yeah. He's been saying a lot of stuff about this deadline coming up, though, I gotta say. Palantir falling off nicely. Pure Life said, nice call in the Discord. Mike called this one out last night. Very fire move. 135 breaking down extremely well. That was amazing. How did the movie F1 help Apple move? Did it actually? Is that part of why Apple's moving? I didn't know that. Oh, yeah. It could be, I guess. Strong reviews from critics, positive buzz. Produced by Apple Original Films. I want to go see this movie. It looks pretty good. I thought it looked great. I love Formula One, as you guys know. Yeah, I mean, you know, we've seen this happen before with Apple and with other companies like let's say Disney or even others. You know, we have seen them move on good movies, especially stuff like Disney or WBD, Warner Bros. Definitely seen that before, so I'm not too surprised, but given the scope of Apple's stock, I'm not sure. But it looks good. I mean, I guess the movie's so good that it's spurring investors thinking Apple's going to be real good at movies or something, I guess. That's my main thought there. Everyone driving their fast cars to the theaters? That's what they did for Fast and Furious, yeah. That's funny. What's up, Clow? J-Bass. What's up, what's up? Long time no see. Yeah, hey, J-Bass, with your long-term positions, man, just let him go. Let him go. Go with the flow. Enjoying summer? Awesome. Look at how the market's moving now, J-Bass. Yeah, stay in. It's always scary out there. It's always scary. Who's so glad I diamond handed? There you go. Nvidia just broke that 155 support. Oh my god, it did. Got through 155 like it was nothing. I guess 154.70 is pretty decent here, but look at this level it's coming up on. That was nice, though. Pretty straight down drop. It was like a $1 drop, though, so I guess it's not that insane, but... I wonder if it'll start to turn around here, Demure. Looking at AMD, it's selling off quite well, too. Looking at the daily, AMD's starting to turn over in a pretty massive way. Nvidia, too. There could be more pullback in store. Maybe not today, necessarily, but overall. Actually, could you do a comparison chart between QYLD and QQQI? Capital appreciation for both. QYLD looks like it never recovers. Well, with how it pays dividends, it might not. I haven't really looked into it too much. I would have to know like the real specifics about how the ETF is set up to give you like a really good answer here. You said QQQI. Let's see. QQQI looks a bit more normal. So, like, I'm not sure that these are just better than even like QQQ. You know, like honestly. Or like SPLG. I get that they pay the dividends, but might not always be the best. I mean, if you had SPLG, you know, without the dividends, it's like 28% from the bottom of the dip. I'm not saying you caught the bottom, of course, but I'd have to factor it in with the dividends. So let's do this. Only 15% on QYLD, but did it make up for it with the dividends? I adjusted it for dividends now, so let's see. 18%. It didn't even make up for it, so not near as good in my eyes. I would just stick with VOO, honestly, if I were you. I would try not to worry too much about those weird stocks like that. I know everybody always wants to try to find something different, but I don't know if those dividends would have made up that much. Yeah, they sell out of the money calls. I get it. It just, the chart doesn't make much sense. I don't know how much it pays. I think it's kind of getting a little too extreme when you don't have to. So 14%'s the dividend. Okay, so that's pretty good. That's pretty solid. That puts it like right on there. It might even beat this, you know, it might beat other things in that scenario. Now that I see what it was. Not bad with such a high dividend, but yeah, you might be splitting hairs with those. SPY moving up towards 619, 619.20. I think just hitting on some individual companies could even be better, you know, if you're getting into decent ones. SPY bouncing off 617, back up. Loves this level today. Look at how it keeps, like, wicking right here. Kind of creating a little trend. Caught the hood move down more. Think or swim, dollar. Think or swim. For like 95% of things. I have IRAs and stuff through Chase, though. Because I trust them more. Caught the hood move down even more. Nice. QQQ just sold off on the 1 minute again. Man, SPY. SPY might get through 616.80 finally. I don't know. It's selling down pretty good on the QQQ side. No, I don't do anything like that, Dollar. Automated trading, nothing like that personally. I used to try to run stuff like that on futures sometimes, but that was a long time ago, and, you know, you start to learn that automating can be pretty good if you obviously know what you're doing, but most of the time, the bigger firms and everything, they already, like, have ran the strategy, and, like, let's say they've ran it dry, so to say. So a lot of times, you know, if there's an advantage out there, it's already been taken. But nonetheless, I do think that I just think that APIs could be a little bit misleading for the average trader. We used to try to run some up on futures, and, you know, there were sometimes it would do great, and other times it would do pretty bad, and it came down to, really, it just ended up not being worth it. I was going to try and build an AI that made me a little bit of money on the side automatically. Yeah, it's really not that easy, Dollar. Yeah, it's really not. You would almost... It would probably be best to... If I were you, I would try to book some... I would try to get some consultation maybe from some other API, like, managers, we would say. API coders, right? Like, you could maybe go on, like, Fiverr or Upwork, or, I don't know, just do, like, research out there, you know, maybe try to find some bigger names, see if you can get them to talk with you about it. Maybe, I think that would be a smart idea. Yeah. Yeah, no problem, no problem. $616.90, $617 coming up into play. SPY might be breaking it down. I mean, it's not looking very good here. Looks like it's going to be trying for a little rundown if I were to look at it here. Just made about 200 on the NVIDIA short. There you go. Love to see that. Yeah, NVIDIA just, wow, that was a good candle there, Demir. 154.50 gave out well under 155. That was nice. Yeah, NVIDIA, I am telling you, it looked like there was some good momentum there. Consolidated for just a second and went boop. Right through. Back to Tessie, pulled back under 303, which is a pretty big level I've been watching today. Also have Tesla 295 puts. Ooh, Robert, those could be getting juicy soon. As long as Tesla holds under that high of day here, I mean, you're probably pretty golden on that. My main concern is that it's above 300, and if we do see a good bounce off of 300 and re-break, then of course, you know, you're screwed, but that's how it is, you know? It is at 300, though, a pretty big level. Ooh, quite a bit of buyers there, even though it already broke above there today. Bear market last couple days, at least in the sticks, I'm or was holding. What's up, Joshua? You think it's been a bear market the past couple days? Man, maybe today. It looks like the SPY has been moving down pretty well intraday, for the most part. It got that good end of day pop yesterday, though. It's kind of weird. Ah, gotcha. SPY selling off pretty hard here again. 616.50. Wow. Yeah, definitely gave out its support this time. Pretty clear breakthrough now. Check on Tessie here a little bit. Hopefully it gets back under 300. Little voice crack there, Dollar said. Did I? I didn't feel that one. Normally I feel them. I am sick, so I need a little forgiveness today, Dollar. I've been running a fever the past couple days and my throat has been on fire. And I'll tell you what the worst part is. This is insane. My muscles in my legs feel like I just did a leg day workout like 10 times or something. Like, I mean, I've had the flu and I've had joint pain and stuff. I've never had leg pain this bad, almost from anything. Not even like insane workouts or... It's literally like the equivalent of I just ran stairs for like 3 hours straight. I don't know. Massage therapy. I could use some massage, all right. The breathing's pretty fine. That's the weirdest part. I'm not really coughing much, but my throat was on fire, though. Like, I mean, I had, like, strep throat or something, it felt like. I should probably go to the doctor, but it's all right. I got pneumonia last time I went to Miami. Oh, shit. First time all three stocked up guys have been in Florida at the same time. Oh, that's true. Oh, yeah. Nah, man. Just thought it out, bro. Slam some cough drops and trade 0 DTEs. That's how we do it, Ivan. That's how we do it. Some Dayquil as well. Robert, coming through. Keep falling, Tesla. Let's go, Robert. Let's go, yeah. Let's go, Robert. Let's see it down. Sitting right at 300 here. Let's get through. I think it could break down through it. It hasn't really cared too much the past few days. It's been breaking through okay. Hopefully the SPY can keep things up for it. SPY looks pretty gross. Fairly bearish there. Pneumonia from Miami, Autumn. How'd you get that? At least I think my breathing's okay. Yeah, you know who I'm gonna sue, Mason? I'm suing Ron DeSantis. That's who I'm suing. Got me sick. They need to fix their waters. There's SPY continuing down on the 1 minute. Very nice action. Tesla just got through 300 for Robert. We'll see if it holds down, but looking good so far, Robert. Guess I'm immune to it. I drink Miami tap water. Once you live there long enough, you get used to it. That's how... I can't believe that, like, if you're from the USA, you can't drink water in, like, Mexico or, like, anywhere, like, in South America or other countries, you know? It's kind of weird how you can't do it. I'm sitting there and I'm like, how is it that bad that, like, we can't drink it? Like, what? I couldn't imagine that. Yeah, that sucks, Autumn. That's crazy. Robert said, we're eating good now. There we go, Robert. Yes, sir. Looking good. Mason said the water's gross. In the Dominican, yeah. My mom and my stepdad, they used to go on a ton of travels together. Like, we're talking like Dominican, Puerto Rico, Guatemala, Brazil. I mean, you could name like every like little country in like South America and like maybe even like North America and like islands and like Tortuga and St. Thomas and, you know, a whole bunch of things like that. They got sick multiple times from that. And they had to get like crazy injections and stuff afterwards. One time it was literally just because they brushed their teeth with the water. Just simply brushed their teeth. Haha, Ivan. Jesse said, what is this sell-off? Any news? I wasn't seeing any right off the bat. Still some more stuff about Trump and Elon. It looks like the big, beautiful bill is having problems. So in 2008, there was another vote-a-rama where they did 44 votes. Apparently, they held 45 votes over a 24-hour period with this. Powell said he likes this ratio thing that Bowman suggested. Not sure what that is yet. Let's see. Leverage ratio. I'll have to look that up. Maybe do some research on that after the stream. I don't know what Bowman has proposed there, but Powell likes it. Hey, let's go. Coming in strong again, Robert. Says, let him fight. Let him do it. Yeah, it's rejecting off 300 again now. Getting a little lower. Appreciate it, Robert. That's badass. Let's go. Shenanigans. I need lunch money. I'll tell you what, Tesla still looks pretty good here to the downside. Under 300. Holding pretty well. Get some Subway money going. Man, I'll tell you what, my fiance loves Subway. Maybe I'll get her a Subway gift card for her birthday. Mason. Yeah, the crowd goes wild. I think I'm going to give Robert a round of applause. Holy shit. Subway Tom or Subway? What? Yeah, she does like that stuff. You know, she loves it. She likes Starbucks a lot as well. It was funny. Somebody sent her $10 in the mail for her birthday, and she took it to Starbucks this morning and got it at Starbucks. Play Spy puts off the support when it breaks it. Gift her 10,000. 10,000. I don't think she'd know what to do with it, Mason, if I was being honest. $10K. I was going to say, I'd come home to like 1 million Starbucks coffees or something. Or not 1 million, and I forgot how much Starbucks costs. For 10,000, I wonder how many cups of coffee that would get you. It probably wouldn't get you as many as you'd think, if you were being honest. I'm going to ask ChatGPT. In STL, how much would 10K get me in large Starbucks? What does she like? We're just going to say... She gets like those like refreshers or something. I don't go there, so I don't know the name of these things. We're just going to say refresher. All right, let's see. This is funny. Okay. It says 1,526 drinks. If they were $6.55 a pop. That's funny. See you later, Demure. Starbucks daily chart has been brutal lately. I don't know if you guys have been watching it. It loves to dip down to like the 70 to 80 range and then bounce back. And it's in the process right now of bouncing back a little bit, which is good. I would say overall it's in like an uptrend here, trying to continue the run, which is nice to see. But it has been just like stuck for the past few years. Eventually, I do think that they will get out of this range and they will trade up and out of it. Kind of like how they were stuck in this range for a few years. I think it's very similar. It's just a bigger range now. And I do think that they could get, you know, an extension out of here eventually. I do think sooner than later, though, considering how long they've been in there. Personally, I think Starbucks is an okay business. I know some people hate on them a lot. A lot of people say their coffee just tastes like shit. And I've heard lots of bad names for their coffee. But I don't think it's bad, okay? I don't think it's too bad. I don't know. I'm not a big coffee guy myself, so maybe that's why. But I think their mocha is awesome. And hell, I buy their coffee from the store and make it at home. Overpriced sugar, Charbucks. Gotcha, Skylore. I know, right, Mason? I was thinking like 10,000. I'm like, okay, you know, only 1,500 drinks. That's pretty insane. I wonder how much copies we could make if we bought our own copy stuff and like made it with 10,000. Now that's where you make the money. Yeah, like at least 3,000. That's what I was thinking. QQQ down to 547 now, continuing to fall off. Pretty bad PA to the downside. After they burnt my beans 15 times in a row, I switched to bros. Has anybody ever been to Scooters? Anybody out there like Scooters at all? Tesla's getting pretty low. It might be starting to come back up a little bit. It's getting closer to key support here. 297 is not a bad intraday support. I don't think I'm not saying it's going to hold it all day. But like for like a short-term hold, it seems to be bouncing pretty well so far. Oh, you just got a scooters. Hell yeah. They don't have any super close to me, but they've been making a lot of them around here. In PCB. Where's PCB? Panama City Beach? Ooh. I drove through there last week because it's not very far from Destin. So I drove through there, but other than that, I've never really been there. I thought I was going to Panama City, Florida once for a layover, but it was Panama City, Panama. Oh, that's funny. Imagine stepping off and you see like Spanish or something everywhere. That would be hilarious. that would actually be so funny. You think you're like in the US and they're all just like, I don't know, it's greeting you. I'm not going to try to say it. All you see is red roofs. Gotta get that insulation. QQQ, 546.50. Still pretty low. Continues selling off. Pretty insane. Gonna switch to the Mag 7 really quick. Let's go check on Win. Some of those casino stocks. Well, it's holding up pretty well. Honestly, Win. Very nice action today. Up above 100 right now. MGM continued pretty well, too. Wow, we saw some great action out of these casino stocks today. Love it. Skylore says SPY's about to gap down. Hopefully it bounces off resistance for you if that's what you're looking for. I could see it getting back towards that low of pre-market, honestly. The way things have been going. Little retest down there. Get the retest going. Go back down, Spire. I will give you a purple. Oh my God, Mason. Oh yeah? Well, I'll steal his lunch money if it don't go down. Spy's gonna starve tonight. Will BMNR break that 60 high? I think there's a shot. There's a good shot that BMNR could break the 60 high. It's very close. I do think that there's a really good possibility here. I think it halted. It just halted here, so we'll see how it goes, but Mason, you'd laugh at me. I've never watched Squid Game, not even one episode. Brain! Bam! What's up? Thank you. Glad to be back. How's the time off? Pretty good, pretty good. Yeah, it was a fun vacation, you know? Time off was weird. It felt weird. Every morning I woke up felt kind of weird, but it was probably needed. A nice little break. Haven't had a good break like that in a while. I think I have one more episode of Season 2 to watch. Pretty interesting show. I don't know if I'd start it now, but now I gotta keep watching because the season ended on a cliffhanger. Oh, gotcha. It looks like an interesting one. I'm not into like a lot of that type of... You know, whenever I was younger, I used to watch shows like that where there'd be like a lot more killing and stuff. And now that like I got older, I don't like watching anything like that. Like I used to watch like Breaking Bad and like The Walking Dead, and I even used to like scary movies more and stuff, and now I'm like, it's like the Asian Hunger Games. Oh, it's gotta be worse than that. One of my favorite shows ever that you guys should check out that's really underrated is called Hell on Wheels, I think. Yeah, Hell on Wheels, that's what it is. That was one of the best shows I've ever seen. You can't stand anything on there? Yep. Sounds good, J-Bass. See you later. Spy just got through 617. Got back through resistance now. Pretty strange PA today, though. It chops all around this resistance and doesn't really respect any specific level. It's like just close, you know, like within a range. Much appreciated. Let's go, J-Bass. Supernatural? I've heard of that one. Never seen it, but I know that's a huge one. There's so many high-quality shows now. Whoa, the QQQ just had a massive red candle, guys. Spy just got destroyed at resistance. Wow. Trump. Uh-oh. My Stock Labs isn't updating. Shoot. My news source is down. Let's go to the Discord. Damn, that is a big drop off there with Spy. Past 3 minutes, pretty nasty candles. Huge on that second one. I'm looking at the news. I'm not seeing much right now. That's awesome for anyone that was still in puts, though. Oh, TradingView, how dare you? Tesla, still above 300. We'll see if it can get back under there. I was getting a little worried there too, Mason. It was getting towards that 617-ish resistance, and I was like, okay, it's starting to extend above there pretty well. We might have to call it a break soon, but that was good. It turned over right there. Nice and quick. Brain says, WTF NVIDIA. I know, right? They've been one of the biggest drivers to the downside with SPY today. This morning, SPY kept rising even whenever NVIDIA was down, but now the rest are kind of adding fuel to the fire too, so now it's definitely a nasty sell-off, but man, that is gross. I'm still not seeing any news necessarily. Looking all over for it. Brutal. SPY getting close to that low of pre-market. We talked about that possibly testing. Getting pretty close now. Chinese chips are going public soon, so NVIDIA dropping apparently. Ooh, is that what it is? Ah, let's go look at that news. Yeah. China AI chip fears. Two Chinese AI startups filed to raise a combined $1.7 billion in IPO offerings Monday. Beijing-based More Threads plans to raise... That's my name! What the fuck? I'm suing. Plan to raise 8 billion wons, equivalent to 1.12 billion. Meta X is targeting 3.9 billion won. More Threads was founded in 2020 by NVIDIA executive Zhang Xinzong and specializes in chips for AI training. Okay. More Threads. Why would somebody with the name Zhang Xinzong make a company called More Threads, like with my name? Is there like is there another guy in there that like is named More, or I'm confused. I'm looking this up. Maybe in China, Moore is something else. Ah, they don't put on their website anyone about who's there or anything. It's a clever nod to Moore's Law, a well-known law in the technology industry named after Intel co-founder Gordon Moore. Predicted that the number of transistors on an integrated circuit would double approximately every 2 years. Moore's Law. Ah. That's why. I knew there was a reason there. He's no Moss. I told you, Tom, get those puts. You could have got your fiance a beach house. Maybe so on the way it moved here. This is physically impossible, by the way. At some point, transistors are the size of atoms. It could be. I know, Joshua. I kind of feel like that, too. I don't know how that works, but... You probably know a lot more about it than I do. I have heard of that law before, though, once I looked it up. All right, SPY got right to the low of pre-market. That's a great spot to take profits. Even if you're looking for it to continue lower, I don't think it's bad to take profits now and then maybe even re-enter if momentum comes back in. But I love the prospect of locking in some gains here. This is a big level for SPY. It's been the past few days. I do think that there's a chance that it breaks down, but it's never bad to lock some in. You can never call the bottom necessarily, even though... You know, a lot of people might lock in now and then it'll go down and they'll be like, what the hell, Tom? What? You said to lock it in. It's like, well, if it would have went up, then you would have been like, oh, Tom, you're so good. You know, so it's, you gotta understand the game a little bit. All right, I think we're going to call the stream there. I appreciate everybody joining up today. Hope everyone has a good rest of your day. Mason said all out of the puts. Good way to come back after that weekend. There you go. Hell yeah, make up that club money, man. All up from here. Good day. Awesome. Let's see it, Glenn. It could be. It did this yesterday. The SPY data moved very similar to this yesterday. It dropped off, and then it eventually rose up, double bottomed again, and popped. I'm not saying it's going to pop here all the way back like yesterday, but... Sounds good, Jake. Thank you. Yeah, have a great rest of your day, guys. Appreciate everybody joining up and supporting the community. Let's go. Tomorrow should be a pretty fun day as well. Lots of opportunities out there. Let's get it. Let's get it. All right. No problem, Seb. See you later, Autumn. Ice out. Let's go.